Mendoza. Hello, Memento. Wait, let me check if you guys can hear me. Okay, yeah. You guys can hear me. Alright. Hello, all. Hello, all. Welcome. The story was good? Nice. I'm just gonna quickly do my dailies and go to sleep. Coil up. I don't even get the joke. No, 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 no. Voice a bit small. Yeah, I'll probably have to fix the mic volume in the future. It's because I'm on a different mic. That's why. That also plays a part. Who was disappointed in Don Hung's kit? I just think the summon needs to attack more frequently. I don't know. I think Feyon is in a oh fuck. Imagine I got this on like the different set. But uh, I don't know. I feel like they are more stingy with Feyon's team than they are Cassie's for some reason. I don't know why, but they just are. Hello, Ahmed. I've been good. Hope you've been doing well as well. The game is too loud. The thing is, I don't think I can do anything about that. Because it's like, I'd have to probably play on 0 volume. I mean, I guess I could check if I could increase it through my software. Let me check. Yeah, I don't think I can increase my mic's volume straight off the gate. Oh wait, I can. Okay, how is that? Do you guys think this is too loud compared to before, or Or did it even increase? It's good? Alright. And it saves, right? Let me make sure it saves. Yeah, it saves. Okay. Sounds good. Nice. Hello, Kiwi. I don't understand the Don Hung Doom posting. He gives a 4K shield at E0. People aren't Doom posting Don Hung because of his sustain capability. They're Doom posting him because he's not like anything crazy for Feyon. And so Feyon sustainless is still better than sustain. If this gets speed, it could be really nice. But yeah, that's the main issue people have. Don Hung's light cone is broken. He becomes abundance plus damage increase. To be fair, Don Hung's E1 is always going to be more worth it instead. Because it's 15% res pen. I think people aren't doom posting Don Hung. I think they realized it's impossible for him to be an upgrade. The thing is, it's not impossible though. Like, it just isn't. It really isn't impossible for him to be an upgrade or even be on the same level of other harmonies. The problem is, literally the only buff he has in his kit is 15% attack. Like, it's not an impossible thing. They are literally holding him back from like being able to be what he should be, right? Like, most of his value right now in a Feyon team is completely carried by Sunday because you're enabling the extra 50% damage boost from Sunday's skill now that Feyon has a summon on him. But like outside of that, the guy literally all he fucking does is like one attack in Feyon's ultimate, and then alongside this, what's it called? He does like one or two attacks in Feyon's ultimate and gives a 15% attack buff. Like, just put the E1 in his base kit, and instantly you'll notice a much better performance. But it's like, let's all be honest, we know he's going to be free, right? At the end of the day, he's a free limited sustain. He's probably going to be able to sustain better than most other characters in the game. So it's like, if you're only looking for that aspect, sure. But like Feyon mains are just gonna be disappointed. There's nothing you can do about it. It's 15% of his attack. Oh, isn't that even worse? I don't remember exactly how attack percent buffs work. Scales with relics. Oh.
Nice.
It's all your fault, you Cassie Schiller. That Don Hun got shafted. Okay, can I be honest? I think the reason why Cassie. Okay, I think the reason why Feyon isn't getting like any, E0 team upgrades. I don't know if you guys have seen HOS, right? Like he's pretty well known, and here and there he'll make videos on like the peak damage ceilings of characters. Feyon at E0, like sustainless versus any other team, I do believe is like strongest in the game, right? I mean, you could do dot sustainless, but like it's so much easier to die in dot sustainless than it is Feyon, right? But at E0, Feyon is like neck and neck, if not better than Cassie. But at E2 team investment, like Cassie gets blown out of the water. From the videos I've seen, like Feyon, it's not even close. Feyon completely dumps on Cassie when you consider like team investment and like vertical investment because of how insane that thing is. So I think they might be scaling like Cassie and Feyon equally, in which like Feyon is stronger with vertical investment, Castris is stronger at E0 baseline, and that's what they're gonna do with like Cyrene and March.
Nice.
These E2 Feyon showcases are so useless. Well, not for your boy. Give me more E2 Feyon showcases, please. Alright, let me do dailies on my Anoxa account. Who's Cyrene replacing an E0 Feyon team? No one. What? What makes you think Cyrene is supposed to be best in slot for Feyon? I mean, you could probably use her for sustainless alongside Sunday and Ceredra, but like, What's your opinion on March animations? I think March is not meant to be a main DPS. And so that's why they didn't like you guys will realize that they likely never intended for her to have like main DPS level of animations, and she's just supposed to be sub DPS for Cassie. And Cassie is the one with like one of the best animations in the game competitive with Feyon. So wait, this is my Anoxa account. Wait, let me check Gala. Um. Okay, there we go. I knew something was off. I knew something was off. Your voice is cracking. I knew something was off. I knew something was off.
A moment of divine insight arises from enduring patience.
Wait, let me check Gala. I'm looking back at the VOD of my stream and my voice isn't cracking. Wait, this is my Anoxa account. Yeah, I think it might be an issue for you guys. My voice isn't cracking in anything here. I turn your stream on PC and it works fine? Nah. Are you pulling Saridra? I don't know. The only account that would pull Saridra is this Anoxa one, but it's like... I don't know, man. We'll see. You need to make 3 teams? I don't need to make 3 teams. Like, I don't need to instantly bum rush the end game on an account that just doesn't have that many characters. Like, all this account needs to do, run my Anoxa, because you guys know the main points of this account is to get E6 Anoxa. If I go for Ceredra and his ass reruns in like 3.6, 3.7, it's going to be tight trying to get his E6, right? So E6 Anoxa ran with Tingyan RMC. Archer with E1 Triby, E0 S1 Sunday. And I only need one other comp. So like going into version 4, I pull one new comp and then bam, I'm done. Like that 3-team endgame isn't something that's supposed to be like bum rushed in the first place.
Something out of nothing. Insanity. Look, with this divine power, I reforge all things. Look, with this divine power, I reforge all things.
E6 is easy to get if you swipe. Yeah, I bet it is. I need to learn self-control though. I can't just like spend money whenever I feel like it out of impulse. Like that Feyon thing was like crazy for me, because I've been playing gacha for like, you know, nearly half a decade at this point, because I got introduced to it through like the beginning of Genshin, but I'd always refused to directly buy Jades, and then I just folded for Feyon. I don't want to make that like something I normalize. I need to be careful with myself. Swear that endgame doesn't even give Jades anyways. According to the current leaks, yeah, it doesn't give Jades. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a possibility that like the first 3 floors, which are supposed to be like the actual clearable ones, that those may have Jades in them, but we'll see, of course. If they don't have Jades, I'm gonna be honest, I just don't care. You do the new story? No. That's me now. I respect it, Gabby. Thanks, Kiwi. I only spend for HSR only if I get screwed over. Yeah. Like, that's what happened to me with my main account. Like, originally, getting E0 S1 Feign on should have been perfectly attainable. But my main account just kept going soft pity and kept losing 50/50s. It was so fucking frustrating. So I was like, you know what? This is like a character I literally like got an account for. This is a character I've been hyped up for since like the Amphorius teaser dropped with the trip marketed characters before we even started 3.0. Like I wanted Feyon since then, and I folded. I used my Feyon pulls for E2 My Day on my main account, and because of that I suffered. But like I wanted Feyon so bad, so I just dropped the money. And then I got E2 Feyon. Because I got 2 earlies after that. So I don't regret it. I 100% do not regret spending the money. However, I just need to, you know, keep myself in check as all. It's more so a personal thing. You don't regret it, but wouldn't want to repeat it? Yeah. You're too addicted to eidolons? I mean, not. I 100% think that, like, obviously I am more allured to eidolons than most people. But that's because I just like the characters a lot. Like, for example, on my Cassie account, right? E1 March. E1 March has near, if not better value than Triby E1 in terms of overall amp for the Cassie team. S1 gives the entire team's like memo sprites, defense ignore, which Cassie can like do this and that, right? And the reason this matters for me is because even though I love meta, I love theorizing, I love theory crafting, I am lazy. I will not play games every day. I will not fine tune my rotations to make content on super, complicated runs, low cost zero cycles. I just care about like comfortability, right? And so I go for the best investment levels of DPS I've dedicated myself towards. And that's how it goes. I have a Cassie account, so I'm going to go for all her best in slot supports and Eidolon and Lycone. Feyon account. I mean, technically, Feyon doesn't even need it, I'm going to be honest. My main account is like less, focused on Feyon right now and more focused on Yai Sakura, right? So that's, its own thing. Cyrene for probably my day, then I start going to Yai Sakura. And then this Anoxa account, I won't even know who the fuck I'm gonna pull after Anoxa, right? But it'll probably be E0 S1 instead of E2s and shit. Oh my god. What a piece. If only I could have gotten this on my Cassie account for my Hyacine. Holy fuck. Are you pulling March on the Cassie account? Yeah, almost guaranteed. The Cassie account doesn't have Triby, and I'm like very confident at this point Cyrene will work with Cassie. So I would like to get March and then Cyrene for my Cassie. What's the average cost for a team at this point? I'd say the average cost in HSR is probably like 6. Like if you're a veteran player, I think it's probably around 6. Are you getting E1 S1 March? No. There's no way I can afford that. Like I might try for it, but it's like I just don't. I can't believe we normalize 6 cost teams. To be fair, 6 cost is like incredibly reachable or like attainable for low spenders. And the reality is, I think at this point in like HSR, a very, very sizable amount of the player base are low spenders at this point, right? So it is what it is. Because, like, naturally, the average pulls per patch we get in this game is like 95 to 100, right? So you also have to account for the fact guarantees, sometimes you may get earlies, and then if you're a low spender, this is instantly turns into like 124 average per patch, right? So throughout an entire version, you can get like 1,000 pulls, which is, yep, I mean, that's a lot. Eight cost is a 5-star team with their six. Yeah, that's why I said six cost. Because, like, I do see quite commonly people will have, like, a few E0 S1s, but then they'll also have, like, half E0 S0s for the less important, investments on the team. So I think that's, like, pretty average, right? Now, you don't need six costs, but, like, I do think that's the average, to be honest. Um, Low key.
Out farewell. Friends? Indulge yourselves! Insanity.
3 E6 S5s is how many cost? Um, 3 E6 S5s is 36 cost.
Out farewell. To the soul. At this divine hour, I would forge all things. Trinity is before me. Insanity.
I'm gonna be honest. Probably the only character where their vertical investment outpaces their E0 value is Feyon right now. I think that's probably the only one. Like Feyon, 2 cost on each teammate for a total of 8 in sustainless is like, I need to see it again. I think HOS said full E0 S1 team for Feyon sustainless is like 18 milli, right? Which is in, a zero cycle, 18 million damage. But then the second you add 2 more cost again to everyone on the team, or like you mix up the teammates and shit, you can hit 40 plus million. So you actually get a greater return on investment going into full vertical for Feyon than you do going like horizontal on him, which is rare. Like that is very rare in HSR, where like you get just as much if not more value from going vertical investment in terms of return on performance. Oh, really, Radita? Nice. Congratulations. What does March provide for Casterus? Better HP gen for like her ult, because she decreases her own HP and restores HP here and there. Alongside this, 20% vulnerability on her ultimate, 90% crit damage buff to all allies on the, or sorry, all memo sprites that allies have on the team. And then if you have her Lycone, she gives all memo sprites 20% defense ignore as well. So that's like an E0S1 March on the team. Plus her own sub DPS and shit too. Unfortunately, HP inflation goes wild. Yeah, I actually, I just saw this because the only gameplay right now of Cassie with March is against Flame Reaver in a vertically invested E2 team. And people are in the comments like, yo, here's a video with Tribby, same cost team, against an older Flame Reaver so you can use to compare. And I'm like, no. Like, please do not use this for comparison. The current Flame Reaver has like 50% more HP. Secondly, this is like a pure brute force video. By the way, this Cassie team with March cleared the first phase of Flame Reaver without him even taking action once. Like, it wasn't one of those smart zero cycles. Like, they fully brute force single target one side. And, bro, it was fucking disgusting, right? And then I do believe, too, that the last Flame Reaver had a more shield Cassie buff as well. So there was a more shield buff um, alongside this. He had 50% less HP, and the current content for Cassie against the new Flame Reaver is just brute force with no brain power. Yeah. That E1 is disgusting? Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, then again, it does show, right, that Cassie, like, okay, Cassie, I don't believe gets that big of damage increases at all from E0 to E2, and they are mainly QOL for spamming ult more and like self action advance if I remember correctly. So let me check. Yeah, there's this, but the E2 only does new, but okay, yeah. So I was watching this Cassie do a dragon pure single target, and it did like 1.3 million with breath plus explosion. And this is mostly due to E1 March, because E1 March makes a Cassie's Memo Sprite do 50% more damage in single target scenarios. But that is like, it's so stupid, man. Fuck. But yeah, like if anyone's wondering, like March's E1 is higher value than her S1. Like this isn't anything new. This is incredibly common, but yeah, the E1 is better value than S1. Because even in worst case scenario, the E1 will still give you a 20% overall damage amp, which is larger than what the Lycone gives. So, actually, let me check the video real quick on my mobile device. I have it right here. I just want to remake sure like I'm not talking out of my ass about the damage. Alright, so single target Flame Reaver. One oh wait, no no. Oh no. Oh okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was with no Hyacine buffs and no RMC buffs. It did 1 million. I need to see it against the Flame Reaver. Okay, this is fully buffed. Okay, yeah. 1.2 million and a single dragon, breath and explosion on Flame Reaver. Pure single target from Cassie. Which is like insane. It's actually disgusting. What about the defense shred? Defense shred is just weaker. It doesn't matter. The defense shred is weaker. Going from like 30% to 50% defense shred is not a 20% overall damage increase. And alongside this, it's an even lesser increase in damage for the rest of the team because they don't have other defense shred sources like Cassie does. But the E1 just makes any ally's memo sprite do at minimum 20% more damage. And depending on the scenario, it just keeps going up to like 25, 30, 35, and then 50% more damage. So in the teams that March is supposed to be in, the E1 is just much higher value than the S1. I think HSR gave up on balance. You should have known this the second Acheron dropped, to be honest. Like, I don't know what's surprising about it. Ever since Acheron dropped, balance went out the fucking window. March is another Ceridra. Um, I don't know. Like, what do you guys define as Ceridra? Like, the biggest problem with Ceridra, outside of her like being kind of niche, is that you can just pull E1 on a Harmony, and the second you do that, it's probably stronger than E00 Ceridra. But you need to consider that Cyrene isn't out yet, and this would probably increase March's pull value. Whether it be her hyper carry team or with like Cassie, either way, it should still increase her value. Niche? I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. This is like getting mad at Anoxa and calling him niche because his only best in slot team as a sub DPS is probably with like Herda, right? And then you run him as main DPS. But like, it's kind of weird to compare because Ceridra is a support. Being niche as a support is way more fucking trash than being niche as like a DPS slash sub DPS almost every single time. It's hard to evaluate March without knowing about Cyrene, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. March looks hella underwhelming. And I don't know how Cyrene is supposed to like it. Okay, I'm speaking about March main DPS. I'm pretty sure compared to Cassie, it just isn't close. Like I don't think it is. Even if you put her in like an absolute best case scenario, I'm quite confident Cassie's damage output will just be noticeably better. So I'm really, because if you guys remember, right, what the leakers have been saying for a long time now is that she is supposed to be meant as like an offside DPS for Cassie as a side thing, and that her main DPS team with Cyrene would be like with the big dogs like Castris and Feyon. I just can't see it, bro. I don't know. I just like Cyrene needs to have some of the most disgusting mono remembrance buffs possible to make it more worth it. And then if Cyrene does work with Cassie, then I'm quite confident mono remembrance with Cassie would just be stronger than with March. And most of March's kit is perfect synergy with Cassie. So it feels weird to take Cassie out of the team. It's I don't know, man. I mean, she's only a month and a half away, which is like really nice, but it's just confusing. Like even her animations, they remind me so much of Anoxa's of like she's very clearly being made as a sub DPS without too much attention to animations because there's already a main DPS with solid animations.
All things are connected by origin and are made of the same essence.
I mean, I think you could still run March as a main DPS though. Like I think we're kind of over exaggerating it. Like sure, it might not be Cassie level, but something to consider is you don't need Cassie to make March good. Like, I'll try to explain it this way, right? Putting E1 into March or E1 S1 into her would probably just make her instantly better than adding E0 S1 Cassie to that March team. So it's one of those things where, like, if you don't own Cassie already, it probably just isn't worth it to pull her. Like, if you are really like a main DPS March truther, just go for her own investment instead if you really care that much. Like Cassie probably will just be better, but I doubt it'll be by like an astronomical amount. HOS did the math and said March deals the same damage as 3 Cassie Dragons in Zero Cycle with perfect play. I mean, yeah. But like the thing is like, you know, what I'm trying to think of is Cyrene, right? Like somehow Cyrene pulls something out of her ass and makes March like this absolute goated DPS. So like I could see her being close, you know, or even if she's like let's say 15-20% weaker, that can be made up with instantly with a needle on, and that can be more worth it. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. E2 Phanon is now the new baseline. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of people's perception of like top tier strength with vertical investment is like it's completely spoiled by Phanon. Like there just isn't anyone that competes with Phanon vertical investment. And if you think you're gonna get the same return on investment on other deep, it's just not gonna happen, bro. Like they really were smoking some really high stuff, right? Some really high quality shit when they were making Phanons like Team Eidolons. Like I don't know what the fuck they were on, but they were on something. I'll tell you that. They didn't give a shit in there. How will they make Cyrene work with Cass but not Feyon? Who said she couldn't work with Feyon? It's just much more likely that Cyrene will be biased towards Memo Sprites, which Cassie has, and Cassie benefits from Mono Remembrance. Feyon doesn't give a shit or have any Memo Sprites or Mono Remembrance bullshit. So you'd only use Cyrene for her like normal buffing capability in a sustainless Feyon team. Watch the next 4.0 DPS's E2 be more broken than Feyon's E2. Yeah, that's likely. I've been pretty open about this before, but like, if you look at like version 2 DPS's and their Eidolon gaps, most of them are like 50% from E0 to E2. And then if you look at the version 4 characters, other than Anoxa, basically every single Amphorius DPS gets a 100% increase from E0 to E2. So it really wouldn't be surprising if Phenon's E2 was like normal, standard in version 4. Just wouldn't be surprising at all. I don't see the RMC equivalent staying glued to one team. They. What? Guys. Tribby is incredibly general, but she is best in slot for Herda because of her gimmicks, right? Cyrene wouldn't be any different. At the end of the day, true damage buffing is going to be incredibly fucking strong, and she's still going to be incredibly general, but she'll have a bias, like every single support in this game, right? Hyacine has a bias to Cassie. Ruan Mei has a bias to Break. Sunday has a bias to Summons. Cyrene will have a bias to Memo Sprites. That's probably the most likely case scenario here. It doesn't take away from like her general value. When you have zero Hyacine, yeah, I will say though, like, to people stressing about like Cassie investment with March, please prioritize Hyacine before you even think of March. Like, the much bigger difference maker in a Cassie team is Hyacine. Like, very much so. Including, like, you obviously don't need it, but like, one of the strongest levels of vertical investment in the entire Cassie team is Hyacine E1. Like, Hyacine is just very strong for Cassie. We don't trust you when it comes to sustains. To be fair, I was trying to play future rail with Ling Sha. At least we already know what Hyacine does for Cassie. I don't know. I mean, I would have been right too if they just didn't nerf. Like, they nerfed the Ling Sha Cassie synergy that was in V1, in like V2, or was it like hot fixed? I don't remember. But it was one of her best in slot, if not best in slot team, and they fucked it over. When is Hyacine rerun? I don't know. I'd assume probably 3.7 alongside Cyrene is my guess. I think they'll do Evernight Cassie in 3.6 and maybe a Noxa in there as well, since it's been a while since he's released. And then 3.7 they'll probably do Cyrene Hyacine. The reason I think this is because I don't think they've ever like reran two best in slot teammates for a new character on like the exact same patch. So it's like you get one new limited unit. Basically, this would be the equivalent of like, you know, Heisland's. Like she's currently on banner. Imagine if Kafka was also alongside Black Swan, right? So Heisland's, Kafka, Black Swan all in one phase. Like I don't think Hoyo has ever done that before. I'm not ignoring your comments. I just can't read everything in chat. Otherwise, my throat will start hurting. Which 4-star to use with Evernight? What? 4-star light code? I don't know. No character? I'm gonna be completely real with you. 4-star characters for HP scalers is complete abysmal dog shit in this game. Like, I guess the most you can use is like RMC plus Pela, probably. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. HP scaling teams with 4-stars are just completely bricked. In my opinion, this is an advantage that like attack scaling DPSs have. Where like even though like some characters might be weaker than like Cassie and shit, they can very much more easily abuse the older 4-star buffers because most of them are like attack based and shit. But like HP scalers, basically their only 4-star support option is Pela. And then they use like RMC and shit. Gallagher, we're talking about supports, not sustain. I mean, Gallagher is like obviously the most obvious sustain choice. But like, there are two other slots for supports. You're asking for only 4-stars. Like, the only one you can really use is Pela. I don't like Pela. Pela animations are boring. then I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. There's no one else. This game hasn't had a new 4-star in like over a year at this point. There's no one else. But I need 4 in a team. Didn't you say you wanted a March team? March, number uno. RMC, number dos. Pela, numero tres. And number 4, Quattro, is Gallagher. That would be probably your most free to play March team fucking possible. Or like Cassie team, whatever. I don't even remember anymore. Even with Cassie, she's underwhelming. I think it's probably just going to be a Saridra situation. Or like, I mean, it just is what it is. Until we get Cyrene and we find out whether or not Cyrene works with Cassie or not, March will just be a Saridra situation where it's like E0 if that's all you plan to go for. There's other levels of vertical investment that are probably better for Cassie. But if you already are like committed to the Cassie team and its vertical investment, her E1 plus S1 is a really nice addition to the team. Right. So, especially that E1. I can't stress it enough. Bro, that E1, like, you need to understand, for an AoE DPS, being able to do 50% more damage single target just from that E1, like, that is very fucking powerful, man.
Charge complete.
Huh? Oh, my headset finished charging. Scared me shitless. Who do you think has better investment, Feyon or Cassie? Feyon. From the showcases I've seen, I'm sorry, nothing can beat Feyon and Sustainless. It just is what it is. GG's. E2 investment, fucking busted. Nothing you can do about it. I wish there was something I could do about it, but there's nothing I can do about it, right? I am devastated that my main DPS on my main account is as strong as he is with vertical investment, and I have said investment, right? Truthfully, I am very sorry for those out there who cannot experience the same. Do you have an E2 Cass account? Yep. Hopefully Feyon rerun is soon. Feyon would probably rerun in 3.7 or 3.8. I think 3.7 is actually decently likely though. New showcase? I'll watch it tomorrow, man. I'm tired. I'm about to fall asleep. I just wanted to do a short stream because I knew some people would want to talk about this stuff. Anniversary unit always bound to be shilled and broken. It is what it is. Yeah. I think like the number one. I mean, then again, right? If you want to talk about vertical investment, Feyon is better than Cassie, right? But like plain E0 teams, versatility, shilling, like these Annie units are just uncontested, man. They just are. Like if you needed any more proof of like I've been saying this for the longest, even before we got Cassie, and people were like, "Oh my god, how can you be so sure they're gonna shield Cassie? She's gonna be this and this and this strong. How do you know she's gonna be like the strongest DPS of the version or one of them?" And I'm always like, bro, because it's an Annie unit. And they're like, "Oh, that doesn't mean anything." But like at this point, it does mean something. It really fucking does. And alongside this, with the current leaks that we have, the most likely candidate for the next Annie unit is Yai Sakura. So get your fucking Jades ready. Yeah, she's right there. What did you think of the animations? Um, well, like Marches? I thought it was solid. I was surprised by Don Hung's animations. Like, they're actually really fucking sick. To the point I'm kind of disappointed. He hits like a fucking wet noodle. Like, I almost wish he was a main DPS low-key with those animations. I also saw that they buffed his model. So he now has like a bigger, more broader, and taller model. So there's that. And I also like his design, despite what a lot of people have said. I've been open about liking it. What if March is the free 5 star? If March is the free 5 star, I'd be fucking jumping up and down. Because I do not need Terravox for my Phanon team, but I do quite badly want March for my Cassie team. But if we're all being real, that's a fucking fantasy, bro. It's a complete fucking fantasy. And given the kit that Don Hung has, I am quite confident they planned this guy to be free already. I haven't even played the story of this patch. Too much work. Alrighty, guys. I think I'll end the stream here. Your boy will obviously be watching some beta gameplays throughout the days to give his opinion. Some Doom posting here and there. You love to see it. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you all have a great night. Good luck with any of your pulls.